For most of us, the ocean is a place of beauty, a horizon where the sky kisses the water, a symbol of peace and freedom. But for one woman, that endless ocean became a prison, one that tested every breath of her courage, every drop of her hope. This is not fiction. This is the haunting reality of a survivor who spent 41 long days alone in the middle of the sea. It all began with what was supposed to be a beautiful journey. She was young, full of dreams, and carried with her a spirit that loved the adventure of sailing. The sea was her passion, her escape, her way of feeling alive. But on one tragic day, her life turned upside down. A sudden storm, a monster rising out of nowhere, attacked her small boat with waves as high as buildings, winds screaming like angry spirits. In minutes, her vessel was torn apart. She was thrown into a nightmare she never asked for. When the storm finally calmed, there was no land, no ships, no sign of rescue. Only silence, endless water, and a single woman floating on a wrecked lifeboat. Her journey of 41 days of survival had begun. At first, she believed someone would come. Ships crossed the ocean all the time. Surely they would see her distress signals. But days passed, then a week. The horizon never changed. It was always the same circle of blue water, stretching endlessly, mocking her isolation. Food became her first battle. She had almost nothing, just a handful of supplies left from the wreck. Soon, even that was gone. Hunger gnawed at her stomach like fire. She learned to fish with her bare hands, sometimes catching nothing for days. She ate whatever the sea offered, raw fish, seaweed, even birds unlucky enough to land near her. Each bite was not just food, it was a reason to live one more day. But hunger was not her only enemy. Thirst was worse. Surrounded by salt water, she could not drink a single drop. Every wave that splashed into her mouth only burned her throat more. She set up a small system with plastic sheets to collect rainwater, praying for clouds each morning. Sometimes rain came, saving her. Sometimes days of blazing sun passed, and her lips cracked, her tongue swelled, and her mind drifted into hallucinations. The loneliness was unbearable. Imagine hearing nothing but the sound of waves for weeks, no human voice, no hand to hold. She began speaking to the ocean, to the sky, even to the wreckage around her, anything to silence the crushing emptiness inside. At night, the sea turned into a black pit, and the stars above seemed colder than ever. She often wondered, is this how I die? Forgotten, in the middle of nowhere? And yet, somewhere deep inside her there was a spark. A memory of family, a dream of home, a face she longed to see again. That spark refused to let her surrender. Each morning she woke up, even with a weak body, and told herself, not today. I will not die today. But nature continued its brutal test. Sharks circled her boat, their fins cutting through the water like blades. Once one of them struck the raft so hard, she thought it would overturn. She sat frozen, staring into those dark waters, praying for the night to pass. Another time, the burning sun gave her heat stroke, and she collapsed, trembling and whispering to herself, hold on, just hold on. On the 20th day, she was unrecognizable, skin burnt, body thin, eyes hollow. But her spirit, still alive. By the 30th day, she had lost count of time. She didn't know if it was Monday or Sunday, if the world still remembered her, or if the ocean had erased her name forever. And then, on the 41st day, just when hope was at its weakest, she saw it. A shadow on the horizon. At first she thought it was another hallucination. But the shadow grew bigger. A ship. Her hands shook as she tried to wave, scream, signal, anything. For a moment it seemed the ship would pass, like so many before it. But fate had finally decided she had suffered enough. The ship changed course. People shouted. Ropes were thrown. Hands reached out. After 41 endless days, she was finally saved. When she stepped onto that ship, weak and broken, she was no longer the same person. The sea had taken almost everything from her, her health, her strength, her innocence. But it had also given her something greater, an unshakable truth about survival. Her story reminds us that survival is not just about fighting nature. It's about refusing to let despair win. It's about clinging to the smallest hope, even when everything else is gone. For 41 days, she was alone against the endless sea. And she survived. Because sometimes, even when the world forgets you, even when the ocean swallows your voice, courage is enough to keep your heart beating until rescue finally arrives.